वाह, इतना का अच्छा सफ्ता है, तजुका भी अच्छा सफ्ता है. Wow. Means also Haridra Srimad actually. That's why. Oh, really? Yeah. अच्छा अच्छा. So वो देखे आए और ऐसे ही. हाँ. Wow, इतना का अच्छा सफ्ता है.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's begin. Let me share my screen. Share. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Mama.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Okay. Let's begin with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanschaya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Kriye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti shuhitsikam Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama sloke bhagavati namaste. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. We are continuing our discussion on Canto 3, Chapter 5, verse 29 onwards. And let me just open the Kindle. Hare Krishna.
They speak like that. He said, Haribol. When we said Haribol, I know. Okay.
He has a solid voice.
Using from a documentary or kind
Yeah.
voice. He was not joking. I just wrote words.
I asked Guru Maharaj that he can record the entire Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Maharaj didn't agree with that.
You should add, distract and subtract and all kinds of things. Should exactly speak what you say.
Yeah. So, okay, so we are in chapter 5, where we see that Vidura actually is Vidura travels to Haridwar to ask, because he heard when he met Uddhava that Krishna, before leaving the material world, he was remembering Vidura. So he was overwhelmed with that thought. He was very much, he was like showering tears, and he was thinking, how I am so fallen, but Krishna is so merciful that he's still remembering me. So actually I'm sharing the this screen, so you can also see that screen.
This is your.
Yes. No, this is the Bodhini.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why then he met Uddhava, and Uddhava, he had some questions regarding what discussion happened between Krishna and Uddhava. So then Uddhava said that I have been given a service to go to Badrikashram. So within that discussion that happened between Krishna and Uddhava, actually Maitreya Rishi was also present. So he said, like, it'd be nice if you can meet Maitreya Rishi out of humility. And then, ask him the same questions, what you have. So he thought of that, and then he actually goes to Haridwar to meet Maitreya Rishi. And then he asks several questions. Right? There are so many questions regarding how to mitigate the distress. But he asks some very basic questions. And the reason for asking basic question is that, he wanted to not put Maitreya Rishi into trouble, not really trouble, but, he will feel humiliated if he asks something and he is not able to answer. So he is saying that let me ask him very general question, and if he knows, he will actually speak up on his own, and we can go into more deeper discussion. So therefore, it's a very important that Guru Maharaj gave a class on 3.11. He actually mentions that why sometimes devotees who are at a very higher platform, like Vidura, he is Yamaraj himself, he is a very higher platform. Apparently ask very simple questions. So Maharaj said that if they want to experience the heart of a devotee, what is their relation in Krishna consciousness? It's not a matter of knowing something. Krishna consciousness, as we advance, you want to relish Krishna consciousness. What are the feelings, what are the experiences of how that other devotee is relishing his relationship with Krishna? They want to know that. We discussed in the prana and chitta session, right? Actually, when we hear Bhagavatam, really in the very advanced level, when devotees are in a very advanced level. So we discussed about this topic of the purpose of hearing, right? And then how do we actually hear, right? How the Sabda Brahman descends into our physical realm. So there are 4 levels of understanding. One is the level of para, then Pashyanti, then Madhyama, and then Vaikari. Vaikari is one which we are hearing, like I am speaking, and the Vaikar is a sound that is going into the ears. In fact, once Braj Bihari Prabhu, he came from Chopadi, right? He came here, and I asked him this question, that Prabhu, I really relish a lot of Krishna Kirtan, especially some devotees, specific devotees who sing very nice Kirtans, and some Maharajas also. So, is this proper to relish through the ears? So he said that most probably, you are hearing at the Vaikari level. I didn't understand anything what he was saying. So I asked him, Prabhu, can you explain? So he said, okay, I'll explain that in the class. Because immediately after the prasadam, there was a class. So he talked about these 4 levels. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikari. He explained that. However, I didn't really understand. But I remember that word Vaikari, and then I searched in Vedas, and then I found there in the 11th canto. So I wrote it down in my reference. But for many years, I really didn't understand. But then later on, when hearing from other devotees, I came to know when I was preparing for this prana and chitta, that Bhagavad Katha actually is really a darshan. Whatever a devotee who has practiced his Krishna consciousness, he internalizes that. And in a pure devotee level, exchange when happens within them, whatever they are speaking they are actually seeing that in the heart. And that whatever they are experiencing in the heart is going through from the Vaikari level into the heart of the devotee. So they are realizing what this devotees experience within the heart, right? That is the highest level of Tene Brahmarida Adikavai, right? So that level is the actual Bhagavatam. At the purified stage, when the speaker really speaks, a person who is actually hearing Hare Krishna, he is getting the darshan of what he is experiencing. Therefore, our literatures are called as darshan, Sad darshan, right? Similarly, Bhagavad darshan. So darshan means you are seeing actually. You are seeing in your heart what the other devotee is experiencing in their heart. So that only happens when we go through the purification process, when we cross the stage of anartha nivritti, and then nishtha and ruchi, shakti, and all that level, but not at our level. So here Vidura is at that platform. Maitreya Rishi is also at that platform.
So there are times when there's Kirtan. There's one time I remember Gauram Prabhu was doing Mahamantra Kirtan in the temple, and this was right after the Japa retreat.
Mhm.
But must be like 12, 13 years ago. Must be, but and he did such a wonderful Kirtan. I mean, tears were flowing down from my eyes, and I could see around other devotees as well. Vedanarayan Prabhu was sitting next to me. He was also like crying.
Yeah.
So that's even I think at my level, I could connect with that.
Yeah.
And it just kind of something about it, it hit the heart.
Yeah, no, so that is real. What
Yes.
you were experiencing was real, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that this is called as bhava abhas. Because that bhava is not constant. See,
Yeah.
bhava has many stages.
Correct.
There are symptoms of bhava. One of the symptoms is like shedding tears, horripilating, then hairs are all standing there, right? Some getting stunned and they faint. So all these are symptoms. And these symptoms we also manifest a lot of time in our hearing of Bhagavatam or studying Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing any class. But this is bhava abhas because we are not able to constantly be in that state all the time because we are not so purified. But at that point, Krishna is giving you that experience.
So that's also Vaikari, right?
That is also Vaikari, but is still giving you some kind of experience, not full. But there, when the speaker is really speaking,
Their experience.
they are actually experiencing like here in the 10th canto and even later. Srila Sukadeva Goswami, when he's speaking, he's speaking that is Samadhi Bhasha basically. In his Samadhi, what he is saying, he is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj is also experiencing the Samadhi Bhasha of Sukadeva Goswami. He is also saying the same thing. That is the highest level. So Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj explains this in when I was preparing for, so he explained all these things in his class. That's the highest level where you are experiencing or relishing the experience of the other devotee who is a speaker in your heart. But for that, the field has to be prepared. So here, Vidura is not in his intention. Of course, he is wanted to know that what is the conversation that happened between Krishna and Uddhava. But he is not into more like that. I want to know right now, because we also go with that mood. So what Guru Maharaj was saying, though he had that desire, he subdued his desire. And he wanted him to come out and open up everything and show everything to him. So therefore, here in one of the verse, he is saying later on that, I have exclusive interest in Krishna Katha. See, I have heard Mahabharat from my father, who is Yasdev, many, many times. So I don't want to hear the Dharma, Artha, Kama portion of it or Moksha. I want to hear everything in terms of Krishna Katha. So please explain me these topics. And I have no association. Maybe I can continuously hear. Right? So I heard this purpose of Mahabharata and, the basic understanding of Mahabharata from my father many, many times. But I want to hear Krishna Katha from you. Do not touch all those things. So Maitreya Rishi was very honored by Vidura's expressions, and then he expresses his gratitude. And then because he asked so many questions, where to start? So Vidura says, okay, you start from the process of creation. So therefore, he begins with the process of creation from the verse 23 onwards, 22 to 38. Now I shall describe the pastimes of Purusha incarnation, creation, maintenance, and destructions. Right? So then he says that Bhagavan only existed prior to the creation. Before the creation, the Lord existed. And while the creation is there, and after the creation also, after the dissolution also, he is there. And the Lord is the perfect seer. And then how he creates, he starts explaining from the 26th verse that the Lord impregnates Prakriti, and Prakriti is in a dormant state at this point of time. So Lord is feeling alone, like a husband without a wife. So he gives a nice analogy. And then the Lord injects Prakriti with the Kala Shakti, and the Jiva Shakti. So Jiva Shakti is Jiva along with the karma and sabha of the Jiva. He injects that. And then when the Lord injects the Prakriti, the material nature with the Jivas and the time, at that time the process of creation begins. And the first thing that manifests from the Prakriti, which is existing in the Prakriti, but in unmanifested state. So now it has come to manifestation. So what is the first thing that comes? And that is Mahatattva. That is verse 28 and 29. Yes. And then from Mahatattva, then the further creation happens. That Mahatattva means Mahatattva includes Sutra Tattva. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that it includes Sutra Tattva. And then everything which is following is based on this three things. One is the doer, other is the cause, other is the effect. So Adi Deva, Adhyatma, and Adi Bhuta. So last time we were discussing this point about Adi Deva, Adi Bhuta, and Adhyatma. The effect, understanding the effect,
Awesome.
cause, and the doer. So not only, we have heard about Adhyatma, Adibhuta, and Adideva many times, but in terms of Klesha, here in Bhagavad, it is explained now that actually everything in this world is divided into these three. There is a effect, and for the effect, there is a cause. And that effect is taking place because of the supervision of the doer. So therefore, everything is happening by the Adhyatma, Adhyatmic, at the level of Adhyatmic, Adibodhik, and Adidaivic level. Even our Vedic literature is based on Adhyatmic, Adhyatma, Adibhuta, and Adidaiva. So subject matter of the Vedas, where it is dealing with the matter, that is Adibhuta, right? The matter is Adibhuta. And those who study that section of the Vedas is called as Karma Kanda. We went into details of this. I'm not touching that again. And that portion of the Vedas, which is dealing with the soul and the super soul, that is the Adhyatma, sorry.
Yeah.
Adhyatma, the cause. Because of the soul and the super soul, things are happening. There's a cause. And there is a controller. And that controller is actually, in fact, towards highest expression of that controller is a person. So that is there in the Upasana Kanda. So one is Karma Kanda, other is Jnana Kanda, other is Upasana. There are three Kandas based on that. And these are the moods in which everything in this world existing. Now the other part of the Vedas is these three modes, Sattva Gun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. That is not available in any other literatures except the Vedic literatures. The gunas. Therefore, Krishna spent like 3 chapters explaining the gunas in Bhagavad Gita. So it's a very important subject. So now we see that, this from the Adhyatma, certain things came, which is in the mode of goodness, certain creation happens. And then from the Adibhuta, certain creation happens.
कह रहे हैं भगवत गीता में 3 बार चैप्टर 14 ही तो है
14, then 17, 18.
18 में थोड़ा सा
हाँ, but he has dedicated like lot portion of chapter 18 also, up to like almost 40-50 verses he has dedicated. So a large portion of Bhagavad Gita has been discussing these 3 modes. Plus he has discussed some part in Traigunya Vishaya Veda, that is chapter 2. In the chapter 3 also he is discussing about the modes. Right? So he's saying to Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Right? The subject matter of the Vedas is the 3 modes. Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. Rise above the 3 modes. Right? So he's saying that. So the first thing that creates is Mahatattva. And then I underlined these statements just to not prove the point, but show here that Mahatattva, Prabhupada explains in this, the Mahatattva is a via medium between the pure spirit and the material existence. So the pure, if you remember our discussion on prana and chitta, what is Mahatattva? The portion of the Mahatattva is our chitta, right? Consciousness. So here it is the junction of the matter and the spirit, wherefrom the false ego of the living entity is generated. Remember? Do you remember the discussion? What is false ego? Solidified Mahat Chitta.
Chitta, chitta.
Solid. What is Chitta? Chitta is the place where all the impressions are stored. Hare Krishna. Chitta is the place where all the impressions are stored. मतलब ये आप चेयर लेके बैठ जाइए, आपको ऐसा गला है तो इस तरह जाएगा.
नहीं, मैं थोड़ी देर में उठ जाऊंगी.
Yeah.
थोड़ी देर
So whoever is, because here from here you can't see. It's very difficult. So you can take chair. There are like 6 chairs, or you can sit on the sofa.
Very important.
Very bold. Right. So, yeah. Be comfortable. Don't sleep only. That's
That's my job.
So we talked about prana and chitta. So what is prana? Prana is sutra tattva. And chitta is mahatattva. So this mahatattva is the first creation that is purely in the mode of goodness. But in order to perform some kind of action, the mode of passion is required. So this is purely in the mode of goodness, and then this is morely in the mode of passion. Both are required. So that passion is the Sutra Tattva, which is the next transformation that happens from Mahatattva. So Prabhupada in the purport is saying it is a junction of matter and spirit from where the false ego of the living entity is generated. Right? So condensed chitta is, or solidified chitta is the false ego. Right? Impressions which we have accumulated from, and then we start identifying based on the false ego which we have. So this is the purport. Please mute yourself.
And when you say solidified chitta, this is the one where we discuss in this life, there is a certain focus of on the overall Mahatattva, there is a certain part
focus,
that is being eliminated.
Is eliminated.
As part of, so that is the solidified.
No, actually, entire thing is a solidified because it's there, but right now only this much is accessible based on our past karma and guna. Only this much is focused.
Right.
Rest all is there, but it is covered. It's like a hidden file.
Yeah.
Like I gave the example. Remember that if 20 years back I was a cow, I had a taste of the grass. Right? But today, if you serve me grass, I will not eat.
Because the focus is not.
Because focus is not there. But if I get some body like that in the next life, then again the taste will develop.
I'm trying to understand the difference between chitta and solidified chitta. What is that?
Solidified chitta is nothing but the impressions one after another. All the impressions of the life is stored in a hard drive.
So chitta is just a storage, and then with the content in it is
a solidified, right? I mean,
solidified.
it's written. It is never taken out, right? Either access is given, or even when you become pure devotee, those things are not removed.
Yeah.
It is covered for time being because it's not needed. Right?
But this is on the purport?
Yeah, this one purport. Purport of 5th chapter 28th verse.
प्रभु एक्चुअली दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट. आप कह रहे हैं कि प्योर डिवोटी में वो कवर हो जाता है. इट
Yes.
शुड एक्चुअली गेट काइंड ऑफ eliminated or maybe
Yeah.
cleared or something like that. जैसे हम कहते हैं हमारी consciousness प्योर हो रही है,
Yeah,
तो
but
प्योर
आपको
डिवोटी का तो हट जाना चाहिए ना.
नहीं रहता है. Even if you see, for example, if you see, I will give the example of Yamunacharya, who is a pure devotee, right? So what is his statement? Even if
And I think of-
Fit on that.
right,
Yeah.
so it is there. It is not gone. However, he doesn't have taste for that. It is there, but we don't have taste for that. So we have so many things in the past but we don't have taste for that anymore. Like we were at one point of time, we were eating meat or whatever, alcohol or whatever. We had taste for that, but now today we don't have. Even it is there, but we don't have taste. So that taste is taken away. So I am not covering the whole purport, as I said. We should also read, and I'm just highlighting the portion of those purports. So the Lord again and again gives chance. So what is the purpose of creation? Lord again and again gives chance to the living entity to get out of the cycle of birth and death and stop this cycle, basically. So that is the purpose of creation. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also in this particular purport is saying that Mahatattva is the shelter of the universe which has been created, whose form arises from Jiva Shakti, Guna, and Prakriti, time, and is glanced upon by the Lord, right? Transformed itself from another form. Yeah. So then this Mahatattva is transferred to Ahankar. That's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. Mahatattva is a shelter or the Atma of the universe being created. Because that's the first thing. And because it is consciousness, it is the Atma. Atma is what? Conscious. So therefore, consciousness is the Atma of this particular universe or any universes. So this is
चित्ता में आता है अहंकार.
she solidified
Solidified
chitta
chitta.
is ahankar. So let's see. Solidified chitta means solidified chitta means it is for our understanding that it's chittas, which is a set of impressions, and we have impressions not only from this life or impressions from the past life, and it becomes a solid object. So that is ahankar. Why it is ahankar? Because now I identify myself not as a soul. I am identifying as myself as the chitta.
So why does the Lord want to create ahankar if it's a next level?
Otherwise, how can we enjoy? Because original consciousness is pure consciousness. But our desire is to enjoy in this material world. So he has to give us a covering. And whatever impressions we collect in this life or the previous life or life before that, that is all stored in our
Definite
chitta.
identity we have to get in order to
Yes.
enjoy.
Like if you ask somebody, who are you? So I state, I'm this man. Actually, I'm a soul, right? Also, this is my name. This is my country from which I am. This is where I work. This is my family, and so on and so on, right? But where is this identification coming from? From my chitta, because that's where all these things are stored. But if we lose the memory, what happens?
चित्ता में वो सब कुछ
Yeah. But we are not able to access it, right? So we forget who am I actually. So that access of memory is not there. Yeah. Okay. So this next verse, Mahatattva is glanced upon by the Lord. So when you read, actually the first section that comes here is from Subodhini. This is a summary of, as I just showed earlier, right? I directly copy paste from here. I directly have copied paste from here. If you see, so this gives us a very nice highlight of the entire verse. And then we read the verse by Srila Prabhupada, and then the translation of Srila Prabhupada, then purport of Srila Prabhupada,
Yeah, no,
and then
it's not synced up.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so we read from here, and then we read the verse, and then the translation of Srila Prabhupada, and the purport. In the purports, highlighted points, but each of this purport I'm like dividing into some subheadings, so you get an idea what is coming. And then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's translation and commentary, and then wherever Jiva Goswami has given in Krama Sandarbha, he has not given everything. So wherever there is a difference or some new points are there, then I'll add that. So here it is not there. It means it is pretty much same. Okay, so let's read. So Mahatattva is glanced upon by the Lord, and the transformation into Ahankar or Aham Tattva or false ego, which is predominated by tamas. The false ego is manifested in three phases: Adhyatma, Adi Bhuta, and Adhyatma, Adi Daiva, and Adi Bhuta. Right? And if we look at the diagram, this is the reference diagram where we see entire thing. So from Mahatattva, the first thing that is manifested is Mahatattva. From Mahatattva, then the next thing that is manifested is Sutra Tattva, this one. And then the third thing which is manifested is Ahankar. Now Ahankar, so this is mainly in Sattva, this is in Rajas, Ahankar is in Tamas. But again, within the tamas, there is goodness, passion, and ignorance. So from the goodness portion of the ahankar, which is called as sattvic ahankar, the mind and the 10 sense devatas, that is created. From the rajasic portion of the ahankar, means rajasic ahankar, the prana, the 10 senses, and the intelligence is created. And from the tamasic portion of the ahankar, means that is from where the tanmatras, means the object of the senses and the elements are created. So what are the objects of the senses? So in general, this is a field of activities. So there is pancha mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Then there are pancha jnanendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, knowledge acquiring senses. We acquire knowledge from that. That is eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And then there are 5 objects of senses. With eyes, what do I do? I see forms, right? Different forms. So this is tanmatras, or this is also sometimes called as vishaya, right? Vishaya or tanmatras. So the form, from eyes we see forms, from ears we hear sound, from nose we smell. So rupa, shabda, gandha, rasa, and sparsha. Now, if you, most of your teachings, if you want to use this, so if you go to the drive, there is a directory called as references, and all these pictures are stored there. You can directly copy and paste from there. If you want to use it as a PDF or a picture, and you want to show it to your students. So then there are subtle elements, which is chitta, then mana, ahankar, and ahankar. Intelligence is buddhi and mana. So this is all antakaran. So these are all subtle elements. And then there is a causal body. The reason, that is karana sarira. That is causal body. And this causal body is created by vasana, which is unfulfilled desire. Unfulfilled desire. So if you remember last time in the no, what is the reason we get this body? Karana sarir. So in this body, whatever we are desiring and it is not fulfilled, so that desire stays within us as vasana. So unfulfilled desire. And based on our karma, then we get the next body. So in this life, we are preparing our next life. Then karmana devendra, that is followed. Right. So this is sukshma sari or linga sari. So this is what it is. So these are the tanmatras.
Say that again, Sushma Sari, can you show that once? Or Linga.
Linga sari, yeah. Sukshma sari or linga sari. Okay. Is it going too fast? No. Okay, so far.
Well, can you show again the division of the false ego into?
Yeah. So goodness, passion, and ignorance. Hare Krishna. Welcome. So from the goodness portion of it, which is Adi Daiva, the mind and the 10 sense devatas are produced or manifested. Right? So now to understand this, see what is ahankar? False ego, right? But in order for that false ego to manifest, what do we need?
Prana.
We need prana. What else?
Chitta.
Which chitta we need? What else we need? We need mind. We need intelligence. We need working senses. We need all these things. What is created here? So this is all part of ahankar.
So even so, whatever the senses that are is a manifestation of ahankar.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes. Otherwise, what? Senses. These are senses. The 10 senses.
Because the appropriate senses have to be there.
Huh.
So different body forms have different senses, and
So based on the senses, your ego is also formed accordingly.
no,
or
the
the
senses are
ego-
formed based on the
ego.
ego.
Yeah.
Because you want to enjoy a certain way, so the senses are provided accordingly based on the false.
Yeah.
False ego is the blueprint. right? Essentially to
So does the false ego keep changing as we change the body?
Yeah, not changing.
the body changes
According to the false
according
ego.
to the, yeah.
According to our
So
desire,
everything is coming based on the false ego, right? False ego is the lens through which
we act.
That means that if humans have the most evolved senses, that means that we have most evolved the false ego among all the species of life.
Yeah,
not necessarily. So animals can detect different frequencies.
Yeah.
Right. So it is
But
based
I'm
on
looking more
what we
like
find.
intelligence and based on like among all the species.
Yeah, that may be.
among all the species, yeah. We
Yes.
have,
Gyanendriya is, you'll have all the five. Yeah.
but other animals might have better Gyanendriya.
I heard what he said, like an eagle can see much farther.
Much farther,
Yeah.
right.
So for it to enjoy that way, it has to have that.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So ahankar is not just false ego, but ahankar is a collection of all these things because you need senses to enjoy the ahankar.
तो मैं तो ये सोच रही हूँ क्रिएशन के अंदर जो मटेरियल यूनिवर्स के बाहर जो लेयर्स हैं वो भी तो यही लेयर्स हैं अहंकार की इसकी उसकी और अभी हम कहाँ पर हैं क्रिएशन में हम तो जीवा तक पहुंच गए हैं राइट
हम लोग जीवा ही है हमें कभी
But
चेंज
these
नहीं है
elements getting created though. No,
जीवा तक पहुंचे नहीं हमने तो
Yeah.
एलिमेंट्स एट दी हायर लेवल पे है
तो हम ये कवरिंग पे पहुंच गए हैं
नहीं पहुंचे
तो ये अभी कहाँ पर है
जो क्रिएशन में वो चल रहा है ऊपर।
हाँ अभी समझ आएंगे
देखो ना महाविष्णु है ग्लैंड्स है जीवा है रमा देवी है सब है वेयर इज दिस फॉल्स ईगो एंड महातत्व मालूम है प्रधान मालूम
Yeah.
है
प्रधान से फिर महतत्व बना फर्स्ट
हाँ
सेकंड बना सूत्र तत्व अभी हम राइट नाउ है अहंकार पे इसलिए मैंने यहाँ पे एरो दिया है
उसी
बट ये
ब्रह्म ज्योति में वहीं पर ही है
हाँ वहीं पर ही
ग्लोबल
है।
लेवल पे बन रहा है।
हाँ।
ग्लोबल लेवल पे बन रहा है।
हम्म।
इज इट ट्रू?
Yes.
अभी तक डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं हुआ।
नहीं अभी यूनिवर्स आया नहीं है
हाँ, तो ग्लोबल लेवल पे बन रहा है आफ्टर द ग्लैंस।
अभी तक यूनिवर्स नहीं आया
so
manifest
no, all the parts are being made.
made,
So
yeah.
ahankar is a
Separate.
part in the
Assembly
global level.
Yes. This is global level you have to create all the ahankars
All
as
ahakars for
in the
each
subtle
level,
level yeah
Collective.
collective
and then we distribute over it.
then Mahavishnu will enter into each universe collecting his portion and enter into each universe along with the jivas along with their karma and sabha he will enter into each universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu and then Mahavishnu will Garbhodaksha Vishnu will create all the 14 planetary system and once he creates the 14 planetary system then he will give in charge to Brahmaji and the Prajapatis they will give body based on the past karma.
बट फिर भी तो भी वो मटेरियल यूनिवर्स की बाहर की लेयर्स कब आएंगी फिर
वो अभी आएगा अभी देवता प्रे करेंगे so then they prayers because they when they pray because they are not able to, they have been given all the ingredients like for example आप मेरे घर पे आए I gave you water I gave you dal I gave you rice I gave you masala everything I gave you and then I'll say make the khichdi but I didn't give you recipe so you don't know how to make it so then you'll ask Prabhu I want to make but how do I make it मुझे पता ही नहीं है कैसा करना है so then they pray after this they get all the things after that this elemental demigod they pray that please give us the intelligence how to mix these things and make the universe functional because that's our service so then Mahavishnu with his Vibrat Shakti is a Shakti which is explained in the next chapter with his Vibrat Shakti he will actually combine all the he'll give them the intelligence how to combine the elements and how everything should work together and then they start creating then the layers of the universes are formed so there are two after I think one or two verse will come that the entire summary तो उसमें कार्य सृष्टि and karana सृष्टि there are two different srishtis and right now we are in the karya srishti so right now that's what is going on okay so Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is right. From the transformation of Mahat Tattva arose Ahankar, which is the shelter of Adi Bhuta, Adhyatma and Adideva. We saw all these things, right? Which transforms into gross element, senses, mind, sense, Devata. It is divided into Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Picture showed that, right? Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattvic Ahankar, Rajasic Ahankar and Tamasic Ahankar.
So this Adhyatmik Adibhuta, this is different from the three kleshas, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed the class last time.
Yesterday.
So last time
Actually,
yeah, you catch up. You see that PowerPoint presentation, which is this one.
yes.
So here I explained how this Adibhutik, Adidevik, and Adhyatmik, we have only learned kleshas. Kleshas means what?
Miseries.
Miseries, right? So these miseries help, like when we are chanting, as soon as we start bhakti, the process of bhakti, the first thing effect is kleshagni.
Yeah.
There's a first effect that happens, right? Even before initiation, the kleshagni starts, and then it goes up to prema. So kleshagni is a long journey. But the point is that this klesha, we have heard the term Adi Bhotik, Adhyatmik, and Adi Devik in terms of kleshas. However, everything in this world and in the universe, rather, not this world, everything in this universe is categorized into these three: Adhyatmik, Adi Bhotik, Adi Devik. And the concept is that Adi Bhuta is the effect. Right? Adi Bhuta is the effect. Adhyatma is the cause, and Adideva is the doer. Right? So anything you take in this world is categorized into this, including the Vedas. The Vedas also have three sections: Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. Upasana Kanda is Adideva, where you learn about Krishna's personal form, super soul, soul, and all these things. And then Adhyatma is about not soul, not super soul and Bhagavan. The soul is the Adhyatma level, and this material nature is at the level of Adibhuta. So in the Vedas, whoever is dealing with matter is basically karma kanda. Their goal is to enjoy the matter. So that is the Adi Bhautik section of Veda. And one who wants to understand about the soul and the Paramatma, then they go into Jnana Kanda section of the Vedas, which is this.
Question है, sorry, ये doer और cause तो same ही हुआ ना प्रभु? What is the difference? आपने अभी बोला soul, super soul, and then I didn't get it. So जो doer है, that person is the cause for the effect.
No, actually, the doer is the one over here is the doer or the permitter.
The overseer, the Upadrashta.
Yeah. Upadrashta. And the Devatas. See, we as a soul can only desire. Soul is 1/10,000 the tip of the hair. So as a soul, we cannot do anything except one thing, which is desire. Everything in the body is happening by the Devatas. Like this sun is controlling our eyes. Like all these details will come later in the 26th chapter onwards of third canto. All the details are who is controlling the. Actually, it has also come in the past. But there it is more specific, where who is controlling the eyes, who is controlling the nose, who is controlling the ears, right? There are Dik Devatas, there are directional Devatas which control our ears of hearing. Similarly, our digestion, our evacuation, everything is controlled by the Devatas.
If it cause Adhyatma is the soul.
Yeah, soul is the cause.
And
Because he desires to do it.
Yeah, it's because of our desire that all of this thing is
Yeah.
happening.
And it's not the super soul, हमारी जीवा वाली soul की
हाँ,
बात कर
जीवा वाली में हम.
हम.
हाँ.
And the doer is the devil.
Devur is the Devatas, this is soul. Like chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita, towards the end, it discuss the same thing. And then this is the effect, which we generally, basically, this is matter. Because we are trying to enjoy through matter, right? So that is the Adibhuta.
Yeah, I think
But-
the way to think about it is like maybe in just restating what you're saying in my own words, that because of the soul's desire to enjoy, matter is created, which is the effect, and who's doing that is basically the doer, the super soul and the devatas.
So similarly, when we are studying Vedas, when we are attracted to the matter and we want to enjoy matter, then that is the karma kanda
Karma
portion.
kanda.
But if we are not attracted to animal, like dharma, there's a purushartha is like four things, right?
Yeah,
Dharma,
dharma,
artha, kama, moksha. So first three, dharma, artha, kama, is comes under the matter. So if one is interested only in the matter and want to enjoy the matter and that's it, then they follow the karma kanda section. But they are tired of the matter and they want to go to the next stage. That is the stage of moksha.
Moksha.
So there they have to meditate upon themselves or the Paramatma within the heart or Bhagavan.
It's a
So-
bhoga and tyaga.
Is a Bhoga and Tyaga. So when they are meditating on themselves, it is Jnana Kanda. Then there is a literature which discusses all this, and then it talks about Brahman and all these things. And then if they are wanting to have a personal relation with the Lord, then that is they are following the Upasana Kanda of the same Vedas. So Upasana Kanda is dealing with the Adidaiva portion of the Veda. And then this is the Jnana Kanda of the Vedas. And then this is now why I'm bringing the Vedas, because everything is divided into these three. So including the Vedas is also divided into three. But our understanding so far is these are three kleshas. So a portion of it we understood, subset of it we understood. But it's not only that. So therefore Bhagavatam actually divides this into three things, which is Adibhuta is actually effect. Adhyatma is the cause and Adideva is the doer. And then now we see through this angle, then it makes sense that it's not only the kleshas, but it is also this.
Prabhuji, when you say permitted there, do you mean Paramatma? Do you mean?
Yes, Paramatma, yeah. So over here, Adidaiva can be basically the Paramatma and as Bhagwan also. If you are taking the portion of Vedas.
Sambandha, Vidaya, Prayojana. Lot of
Yeah. Connections.
different dimensions
Dimension.
of how we can.
So again, I was holding to say something. I don't know, it will add more complexity.
Yeah, why don't you add it? Yeah, let's see. Let's bring up all the. No, this is how we learn actually.
Yeah.
This is the discussion. Bhagavatam means discussion. Discussion will bring up nice points, and we can meditate.
Samad Tattva in action.
That's it.
So I was just finished the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and started with the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita on the Sunday class. So if you see the 17th chapter, what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita is that he talks about food in the mode of goodness, and then austerity in the mode of goodness, tapa, then dana in the all the three modes, and then yajna in three modes. That's what he summarized.
Four things.
Four
Yeah.
things. So I was hearing Chaitanya Prabhu's interpretation why Krishna picked these four things. So again, it's a longer discussion. It's basically saying it's basically what the inherent faith that you have actually, right? And how the faith manifests is faith manifests in the form of how you act. And in this world, our action is what we take and what we give. So primarily the common thing is that we all have to take food. So that's why Krishna says that aharka, three divisions.
Yes.
And then that's what we take. Then what we give back? We give back from our bodily level is tapa, austerity that you observe. Then at other living entities, that is adhyatmic. To mind and body ko purify करने के लिए you have to have tapa. You have to give. Then adi bhutas, you have to do dan.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you have to give back to the other, or else if you don't do charity, then there will be thievery and poverty. That you have to do dana, right? So pacify. Adi bhutas don't inflict more miseries on you. Then Adi Daiva is yajna. To pacify the devatas, you do yajna. And in this age, it is a Harinam Sankirtan is yajna. But in every yuga, there was some form of sacrifice was there. Right?
Very nice.
And then that's what Krishna says in, I think, 12.5, 18.5, that the Manishinam, the great people will never leave
Yagna,
these
dana, and
three.
tapi.
These three people will, these three things are acts are never given with that you have to always perform actually. So
Wonderful.
I was trying to see where is this connection making there actually.
So, but that also has three sections. Like even in the food and everywhere, there is Adibhuta, Adideva. It's all connected actually. What it means is actually when this entire universe was populated, it was populated in these three moods. There is a cause, there is an effect, there is a doer. Right? So in this case also, the terms may differ in terms of understanding of Adibhuta, Adideva, but basically it is related to Bhuta means Adibhuta means the material nature or the matter which we see. And in any actions or any thought process which we have, including the creation, the mood is divided into these three. That is permeating everywhere. That's how we see that, including the kleshas.
No, everything. I mean, there is a cause
Everything,
for the effect, and then there is the doer.
doer also, yeah.
The cause is not actually doing, because we can only desire.
Yes, we can only desire. In this case, we can only desire. Yeah.
Should have given different names for those cause and After you already इतने सारे word है, 3 more say, right? Yeah, that's fine. It would have been easy.
Yeah. You know, I remember when I went to the
So,
first time when
Karya Karta, that is also there.
Yeah, you could have given that name.
That's also there.
first time when I sat on the driver's seat to drive car, right? And there were so many actually wind, right? I don't know about you, but at least I had that experience. But now it is all normal, right? We know where the switches, buttons, and everything. So it is like that. When we read Bhagavatam, we can read Bhagavatam at a very basic level, but when we are trying to go deeper into understanding, then our thing also Krishna helps us to expand.
I've sat in the cockpit of a 777.
Yeah, see.
So the pilot, invited. What is it? So I went inside. Then I said, hey, you know what to turn and everything, right? I just want to make sure. It's too many knobs and this and that.
It's totally.
Yeah, that's a different level altogether.
Exactly.
That car multiplied by 1,000. Right?
So I was like totally overwhelmed looking
Yeah.
at all this.
But they know each and everybody what
Exactly.
they did because they are trained to do that. Similarly, our training is like we study and then we go deeper in Bhagavatam. And eventually, those will start making sense, right? So, going to the next verse. Now, this general I have explained. So now it going that false ego in the mode of goodness. From that, the product of that is mind and devatas. We already saw that, right? So, aham tatvad vikurvanan mano vaikari kikatbhut vaikarescha deva artha vijyavetata. The false ego is transformed into mind by interaction with the mode of goodness. All the demigods who control the phenomenal world are also the product of the same principle, namely the interactions of false ego in the mode of goodness. So nothing much is there.
So
Next.
mind is the
False ego in mode of goodness.
wow.
Intelligence is false ego in the mode of passion.
Wait,
Why?
mind is the
False ego in the mode of goodness. Intelligence is false ego in the mode of passion. Why?
I thought ulta.
Ah, yeah.
Because that's how we can.
Mind
Huh?
is your enemy.
Yeah.
So Satvik Ahankar is from Satvik Ahankar comes mind. Again, always keep this picture in mind because this is very nicely done.
Yeah, mind intentions.
Yes.
That's it.
This is Satvik Ahankar. This Ahankar is itself in tamas. Right? Mat Tattva is in goodness. Sutra Tattva in passion. Ahankar is tamas. But again, within tamas, like I normally give that example, that there are thieves. Right? So thieves,
Like-
they go together and then they do looting, whatever thievery they do throughout the night. Then at the end of the morning, in the morning, they come together and they say, okay, whatever we got, let's distribute it equally. Right? But originally they are all thieves. But now they are doing something action in the mode of goodness, where they are distributing everything equally. So like that, everything is in the mode of passion, ignorance only.
Yeah, I think the way I think about this is like, we are in false ego right now.
Yeah.
But then we also, there is some who are predominantly in goodness,
Goodness,
predominantly in passion, and predominantly in ignorance.
Ignorance. Yeah.
So that's a way to understand that, right?
Yeah.
Because we are not pure goodness.
So from the Satvik Ahankar comes mind and sense devatas. From Rajasic Ahankar comes prana,
That's
10 senses, and intelligence. What are the 10 senses? 5 working senses, 5 knowledge. Karmendriya.
So, in one essence, bro, all the 23 elements you think are coming from Ahankar? Only?
Yeah. And this Ahankar is given to us because Ahankar is
Ahankar is a starting
Oh,
point.
right.
Yeah. But Ahankar is not just the false ego which we have, but that has to manifest, right? So if I don't have hands, if I don't have eyes, if I don't have ears, how can I manifest that? So I need all those things, right? All these things I need in order to manifest my Ahankar. All the things you need
These
for
are all the
manifesting,
parts.
yes. So building part. So this is all part of Ahankar.
When then Sankhya में जब जाते हैं तो फिर 23 elements नहीं फिर truly 22 elements ही है फिर तो।
There is 22 Sankhya, 23 Sankhya, 24
हाँ,
Sankhya.
तो 23 संख्या में तो फिर अहंकार आ जाता है फिर 24 में सोल आ जाता है
हाँ।
फिर तो truly फिर 22 ही है फिर।
And then there is a 25 Sankhya and there is a 26 Sankhya which is Bhagavad Sankhya, which we study. So there are different Sankhya. Again, we study Bhagavad Sankhya, which includes soul and super soul. Those.
In that also there will be Adibhuta.
Yeah.
Just so you don't get confused.
Again,
Okay, so keep this in mind.
पर आपको आंसर बताइए ना कि इंटेलिजेंस अहंकार इन द मोड ऑफ पैशन कैसे है
Right.
इट शुड बी लाइक माइंड
क्रिएट हुआ ना वो
नहीं बट एक्चुअली इंटेलिजेंस हायर होती है
Higher than mind, but still it is in passion, right? Because we, in order to enjoy, and we need planning, right? So we need that passion to plan. How do I want to enjoy? So our
समझ नहीं आ रहा वो तो माइंड से भी हो सकता है वो passion
intelligence
भी-
is planning, right? Intelligence is the personal
Power discriminatory.
power discriminatory. Yeah.
To determine, okay, can I enjoy it with this?
This way, yeah. So therefore, intelligence is needed in the passion. And then if
The mind will just listen like a fool.
अभी सात्विक में है
Yeah.
because he follows right
Just follow the order of the intelligence.
Okay. So next, okay. I think not much is there. Okay, the next is Tejasa Nindriyaya Jnana Karmani Vicharam. The senses are certainly product of the mode of passion in false ego, and therefore philosophical speculative knowledge, they are. This is also required, and fruitive activities are predominantly product of the mode of passion. That intelligence for the purpose of enjoyment is required. So therefore,
Philosophical speculative knowledge.
yeah,
That means jnana and karma are
yeah, it comes in that.
passion.
Yes.
What is philosophical speculative power?
No, for Gyanis, they need intelligence. For that, they need passion, right? So that's why intelligence is
In the mode of passion. Yeah.
the mode of passion.
So what is the purpose of false ego? The chief function of the false ego is godlessness. When a person forgets his constitutional position as the eternal subordinate part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and wants to be happy independently, he functions mainly in two ways. He first attempts to act fruitively for personal gain or sense gratifications, and after attempting such, so dharma, artha, kama, and after attempting such fruitive activities for considerable time, when he is frustrated, becomes philosophically speculators and thinks himself to be the same level as God. So this is another, catch. Now he had that desire to enjoy. Now he wants to become God. Right? So it's a higher level of enjoyment. Yes. So dharma, artha, kama and moksha.
अभी तक तो हम आए नहीं है, प्लानिंग देखिए कहाँ पे जाके हम होंगे और कितना सारा फॉल्स ईगो एंड एंजॉयमेंट एंड सब कुछ है। फिर हमारी क्या गलती है अगर हम एंजॉय करते हैं तो? कितना प्लान्ड है सब कुछ।
No, this is given, this is planned.
Because of our desire.
Our desire, yeah.
तो फिर अब कर लेते हैं ना।
Earlier desire to कर लिया वैसे।
Yeah.
But it's been like only a few, I don't know, many millions years.
Eternity.
No, well, lifetimes I mean.
Eternity.
Lifetimes.
से सब क्रिएट हो गया, नहीं तो आराम से बैठता He's enjoying the whole
Goloka, yeah.
He's watching.
ये मैंने कहा ना लास्ट टाइम, एंटरटेनमेंट भी है क्या? तो मूवी देखना था।
Yeah, dekh raha hai. Actually, it is saying that, that he is watching, he is enjoying through our senses. He has, in the Purusha Sukta prayers, right? That's, the verse, Sahasrasra. Yeah, so that's thousands of eyes. Yeah, so he is enjoying through us. Unlimited, yeah. Yeah. This false idea of becoming one with the Lord is the last snare of illusory energy, which traps the living entity into bondage of forgetfulness under the spell of false ego. Again, this Jnana Yoga, all these things are coming under this solution. Srila Prabhupada is explaining that the solution is from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. This we are going to discuss in more details in the prayers of the Devatas. So I am not touching here. Okay, so Vishwanacharya Thakur says, someone may object the knowledge sense gives knowledge. So they are in sattva, not rajas.
Mhm.
But he has not given the answer. I heard the answer from Burijan Prabhu. But Vishwanacharya doesn't give the answer directly. To counteract, the word eva is used. That no, it is intelligence is in the mode of passion, not sattva. Like you asked the right question. So Vishwanacharya Thakur is explaining over here.
वो पहला सेंटेंस समझ नहीं आया। सम ऑफ में ऑब्जेक्ट द नॉलेज सेंसेस गिव नॉलेज, क्या मतलब है? नॉलेज सेंसेस गिव नॉलेज।
Knowledge senses is knowledge acquiring senses.
Jnanendriya.
Jnanendriyas gives
Yeah.
knowledge. So
Gives knowledge. So they are in sattva, not rajas.
ओ नॉलेज सेंसेस,
Yeah.
ओके ओके ओके।
knowledge acquiring senses.
To counteract this word, eva is used, meaning all these senses arise from the ahankar in rajas. And we use the intelligence with the jnanendriyas to enjoy, decide what we want to enjoy. In conjunction with the jnanendriyas, knowledge acquiring senses, there are working senses like hands, like this. But we acquire knowledge through what? Through our eyes, ears, and nose, and all this thing. This is how we acquire knowledge. But this actually interacts with our buddhi. And the buddhi then decide what we want to enjoy of all these objects. What do we really want to enjoy? So that decision has to be in the mode of passion. If it is in the mode of goodness, it will be inert. नहीं करते, चलो ना छोड़।
It's probably not good for me.
आज छोड़ दो, कल करेंगे। Yeah, but नहीं, अभी करना है मुझे. I want to do it, enjoy right now. That's
mind है ना, that is goodness.
yeah, but still it overrides.
Mind is the one controlling the senses.
It should.
Intelligence should control the mind.
Right.
That's how we have learned, right? Like
Yeah.
Right.
senses should be controlled by mind, and mind should be controlled by intelligence.
Right. So
Intelligence is in passion.
correct. Therefore, it is pushing. Like in third chapter, one of the verses, Indriyani pararahu, Indriya paramana, manasassa para buddhi, Indriyani pararahu. So the senses are higher than the sense object. Indriya paramana. So sense objects
Senses are, sorry, mind is higher
than the
senses.
senses. Manasasta para buddhi means intelligence is higher than mind.
So then this is
Huh?
conflicting, right? Then if intelligence is higher than mine.
No, it's not, right?
No.
Because
No.
the whole purpose is to enjoy. The purpose is to enjoy. So then the intelligence say, yeah, this is what you need to do to enjoy. So for that you need passion. And then the mind is going to listen to it because it's in mode of goodness.
So higher than senses is what? Mind. Higher than mind is
Intelligence.
प्रभु आपको सारी भगवत गीता याद हो गई है?
नहीं नहीं, एक आध दो चार वर्ष ऐसा यहाँ वहां से दी. And then the higher than that is Saha, means soul. So where is false ego in this?
The whole thing is false ego.
No.
Not the soul.
Huh?
Not
Mind's
this.
intelligence.
So no, so what Krishna is saying here is, if you are a purified soul, then this is the sequence.
If you are a purified soul.
Yeah. If you are purified soul, then this is the sequence. The soul is higher than intelligence. Intelligence, soul is controlling the intelligence. Intelligence is controlling the mind. Mind is controlling the senses, and senses are controlling the sense objects. If you are a self-realized soul. But in our case, it is opposite. So therefore, ahankar is controlling the soul, right? And that is controlling the mind. And then, the whole thing is topsy-turvy. Basically, it's disturbed. So actually, what happens in our case is sense object controls the sense.
Senses.
Senses control the mind. Mind controls the intelligence, right? So like that. So it goes in the reverse sequence. But this is the sequence for somebody who is self-realized. Next verse 32.
Bro, spiritual world में भी तो ego है ना, true ego है.
Yeah, true ego is. Yeah. As soon as you cross the material world, you given the true ego with the spiritual body.
वहाँ पे सिर्फ अपने पास सिर्फ we will be there and then this true ego.
True ego.
No.
All these things are required. Tamaso bhuta sukshmadir yatha kam lingam atmana. The sky is the product of the sound, and the sound is the transformation of the egoistic passion. In other words, the sky is the symbolic representation of Supreme Soul. So here, a very important concept to be understood, and Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur brings up that ahankar. So let's read first Srila Prabhupada's purport. The sky is the symbolic representation of the Supreme Soul. I think I might have put the diagram. Yeah, sky. You see. So now the whole transformation is going from one object to the other object. So let's clarify over here. So first thing that is produced is the sound. Right? Now sound is actually coming directly from the Lord. So that's what Vishnu Chakra Thakur is saying. Sound is the representation of the Lord in terms of Om.
That's it.
Prana mantra.
That's Brahma also only heard the sound.
Sound, yes. Tapa tapa tapa.
That's- Didn't see anything.
So sound then transforms into sky. So this is the transformation that is happening one after another. So sound transforms into ether or sky. Ether transforms into touch.
So it's from the subtler to the
Grosser.
most gross.
Yeah. And the qualities of the previous is there in the next one.
Mhm.
So from touch comes air. From air comes form. So it is not that air will produce form. Form is there, but in sequence it sees all these things are there in Pradhan. Remember this. All these things there in Pradhan, but they are now manifesting one after another.
This is the sequence.
Yes, yeah, they are. So you don't
Doesn't create the other.
That's
no, yeah, the one doesn't create the other.
Form means like earth or
Any form, shape,
Rupa.
rupa, yeah. Form creates fire. Fire creates taste.
No, but
From basically fire doesn't create,
Yeah.
but
Comes
from
after.
after that, and then from taste, water is generated.
is what.
Yeah, from water smell, and from smell the earth. So like that.
so
Now,
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
So in taste, so touch contains taste, you're saying.
No, it doesn't contain. A touch will contain sound and ether.
Oh, other way. Okay.
Yeah.
Taste contains touch.
Form will contain the air, touch, sky, and sound. Like earth will have everything, but water will not have smell. It will have taste. Water will have taste. Right? So like that. So this is the whole sequence that is manifested, and one by one, and everything is happening by the glance of the Lord. don't think that from air or from ether, touch is generated. No, touch is already there. Sparsha, touch is sparsha.
It's got separated.
It got manifested.
Man.
It got manifested in
So
this.
manifest first, followed by ether, then touch, then
Yeah. So everything is manifested by the will of the Lord or by the vision of the Lord. So here you will see, let Lord's glance plus time plus eternal external energy is the combination of this sigma, and sky plus this plus touch is equal to air. The quality of touch and sound is already there. So like that. So
Oh, it's good.
Mathematical equation.
Mathematical formula.
मैंने नहीं किया, आपको दिखा देता हूँ मैंने कहाँ से किया. या गौरंग दर्शन प्रभु ने किया. He is the one.
Oh, he's an IITN.
Yeah, see, I am directly copying pasting it from here.
IAS.
Huh?
IITN.
IASC.
Yeah.
Minister of
वो
Science.
क्या होता है?
Science, Indian Institute of
Bangalore में.
Equivalent to IIT.
for masters.
Indian Institute of Science.
Science. Yeah.
So I also copied this one. So it is not
Yeah.
anything I have produced.
Bangalore.
Equivalent to IIT.
Yeah.
Specialized of science.
Mainly masters.
Only masters.
Masters.
Only masters.
We have to become very good at Control C, Control V. This is our service.
It's called as it is.
As it is.
Yeah. All in Prabhupada.
The more you keep as it is, the more successful you
Yes.
are. You don't have reinvent the
Don't
wheel.
even confirm.
क्लास के बाद कंट्रोल एक्स हो जाता है.
नहीं इसमें वो होने दो, the notes are there, right? You can reuse that. You don't have to remember, just remember some concept and then you revisit again and again. Even I forget all these things, yeah. But it is part of the notes, so we can always go and refer. So here, this Om is coming from the Supreme Lord. That's the point has been explained over here in detail. So let's see. Sky is the symbolic representation of the Supreme's call. Though those who are egoistic in passion and ignorance cannot conceive the personality of Godhead. For them, sky, the symbolic representation of the Supreme Soul, is basically
So the Omkar.
Omkar.
And Mahavishnu says that.
Omkar is the, so we
Because in Bible or Christian philosophy also they say that Lord says that let there be a creation. Means he only utters and then the creation happens. right?
happens. Yeah.
So from a Vedic standpoint, when this planets comes out the force of Mahavishnu and whatever, when this all these things are forming, right? So it is who is uttering that Om,
It is the sound.
or who where the sound is produced.
So original sound is Klim.
On the other side. On the other, so on the
spiritual side
side
is clean.
The spiritual side is clean.
When it crosses to the material side, it becomes Om. It's the same sound which transforms into Om.
Okay.
So the Om is same as Klim. So there is
It's a sound representation of the Lord.
I get it, but
There's no origination.
Huh?
They see the Lord originates from the Lord. I mean, because it's a sound representation of the Lord. Just like Vedas, where does Vedas originate?
from the body of the Mahavishnu.
yeah.
So
So
it's also basically it's the
so in the
source of everything.
yeah.
Has the proof.
Yeah. So we discussed in this Prana and Chitta class Shabda Brahman. Right? So what is Shabda Brahman? This Shabda Brahman is absolute truth in the form of sound. Is same as Krishna, like the Hare Krishna mantra is also Shabda Brahman, right? Vedas are also Shabda Brahman. So this is from Vedic realization of okay. Okay, so Shabda Brahman is Shabda and Brahman. These are two different words. So in Vedas it is said that Om iti tad Brahmano nidishtam nama. So the Vedas are not invented books but eternally existing transcendental sound. There is a sound, right? Truth is not ascended by the intellect, it descends through the sound. Therefore, the Vedas are Sabda Brahman. So next, the Gaudiya perspective is from Om to the name. So when the general Vedanta focus is on the Om, Gaudiya Siddhanta conclusion asserts that Shabda Brahman culminates into the name of Krishna. So when this Harinam is actually the holy name is Bhagwan himself in the sound form. But when we want to realize the impersonal aspect of the same Bhagavan, right? So then that impersonal Brahman is represented as Om, the sound Om. And the Paramatma, and then this is the Bhagavan form. So Brahman ascends via the sound vibration of Om. So in the material, it is actually between the material realm and the spiritual realm. So this, the next slide will be actually more
So that
clear.
means that this transcendental vibration is going pervading all through the creation.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not like there is like abhi hone wala hai.
No.
It is continuously okay.
It's
That
correct. Because that is the energy actually.
yeah.
In the sound form. So here if it will be more clear. Shabda Brahman versus Prayar Brahman. What is Shabda Brahman? It's a medium of revelation. It is descending basically and accessible to the conditioned soul by the mercy. Conditioned senses by the mercy. And the example is Mahamantra. But that same Shabda Brahman is actually Para Brahman, which is not right now we cannot experience Krishna as a person. So he by his mercy reveals to us through Shabda Brahman. So similarly, the Brahman cannot be accessed directly. So the Brahman given the access to us to the sound of Om. Here is the sound of the holy name, and the Krishna is basically a representation of the holy name. As a person, he is represented in this world as a holy name through sound. Similarly, the Brahman is the representation of Brahman. The sound representation of the Brahman is Om.
Yeah, I've also heard like because the Om, like you said, it's actually
It's there, continuously.
Constantly vibrated.
That's why when we say Om, or when we chant Om and we get to the same frequency, right?
Then you start feeling.
Yeah, then you start feeling because then you start feeling everything.
So, Om is the representation of
Impersonal Brahman.
impersonal, and Krishna is the representation of
You can't hear it.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra is
You don't have the
of Krishna.
So, Paramatma, is there something?
Paramatma, it is not given, it is not defined. But Paramatma is the form of the Supreme Lord only. So with Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you can really realize the same Bhagavan localized in the heart. So therefore, it is not a separate sound. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra can also give realization like that.
When the Om is being quoted some verse, don't know the Gayatri class, but it's a combination of Radha and Krishna together.
Oh, that is
Jiva Goswami.
that is
Exactly.
चैतन्य चैतन्यमृत में दिया हुआ है वो हाँ
Yeah.
कि one is Krishna, one is Radha, and M is living entity, right?
मुझे याद नहीं है exactly.
Living entity भी क्यों
हाँ नहीं आप डालो AUM डालो चैतन्य चैतन्यमृत में वो परपुट आ जाएगा
मैं देख के बाद में
It's in our notes. We have trusted.
Yeah, really, when she says it's confirmed. Yes.
remember Bhagavad Gita, she remember
Everything. Yeah. Okay, let's come to this.
Bhagavatam.
Chaitanya is PhD, right?
Yeah.
That only she remembers, so you can imagine.
Yeah, this is included, you're saying.
Okay. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says Ahankar in tamas is the cause of is the adi of the sense objects such as sound, from which arose ether, right? It gives the sequence. And then the form sound, which is the form of the Lord Atman, arose from the ether.
And I'm not understanding is why they are saying is Supreme Lord is Krishna, right? Is ether, that sky. Suddenly, the new concept.
Because it is directly coming from him. The sound itself is directly coming from him, and from the sound.
Sound is coming from sky. That's the reason you're saying the
No,
sky is supreme.
it's the other way. We saw
No.
from
So sound is coming from sound.
Bhagwan himself. Mahavishnu.
Then why they're saying sky is super soul, supreme personality?
The sky is also actually manifested through him only, right? Everything is actually manifested on.
There's a difference, right? But the
Yeah.
sentence says that sky is the super soul,
Electric.
supreme personality of Godhead.
Right. So here it is said that
Representation, right?
it is representation. Yeah.
Just like sun and sunrise.
The sky, the symbolic representation of the Supreme Lord, it's not Supreme Lord.
No,
It's
it's
a-
the form of the Supreme Lord Atmana.
See the second line on the yellow in the top.
From here, from sound, which is the form of the Lord, Atmana, arose the form of ether. So sound is only coming from the Lord directly, which is the form of the Lord.
No, that I understood.
And then it's
They are
saying,
saying ether, which is the form of Supreme Lord. See the first sentence. Ankara tamas is the cause of the sense objects such as sound, from which rose ether.
oh, this
which
is the, oh,
form
okay,
of
I
the
am
Supreme
reading a
Lord.
different line. From Ahankar in Tamas arose the sense object starting with sound, pervaded by the Lord, from which ether arose.
Yeah, the second line I'm talking about. Ahankara.
Ahankara in Tamas is the cause of the sense objects such as sound,
from which arose ether, which is a form of the Supreme Lord.
actually,
That is
yeah,
what I-
yeah.
Everything is a form of the Supreme Lord. They say sound is the form of the Supreme Lord, ether is form of like that.
Actually, the original is the first thing which is
Yes.
coming is the form of Supreme Lord, which is sound. Here also, is Vishwanath, sorry, Kramasandarbha also. See, sometimes when we are reading, it is kind of confusing. So that's why we do have to have multiple, that's why I put here Kramasandarbha from Jiva Goswami. He's saying, ether is the form of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything is a form of the
But
Lord.
this is a Linga Atma. It's not direct Atma. Over here, the word Atma is used. So it is a subtle form. Tasmad, and then he gives the reference. The ether arose from the Lord.
Even when he was specifying eyes and all.
You know, it's just saying that the sound, ether, all the things are all form of symbolic representation. See the actually first three lines. You read the first three lines on the screen. The yellow.
Right. So again,
From
you
the
read the
sky,
last line.
symbolic- For them, the sky is a symbolic representation of Supreme Lord.
When you read the
That's
right. When you read the last line, it is very clear. This refutes the idea that the elements are under the control of Maya.
Yeah.
So actually, everything is coming from the Lord only. But starting thing is the sound. Means coming from the Lord again, it is not directly coming from the Lord because it is actually coming from Pradhan. Through the vision of the Lord, it is getting triggered, and one after the other things are getting manifested. However, the sound is actually coming from the Lord because He is the source of the sound in the form of Brahman. So therefore, it is directly Him only. And that is the reference from Taittiriya. Okay, let's move forward. Let's read. Kalamayam sayogena bhagavad dikshitam abha nabasodasya samsam vikurvanam vikirvinam. Thereafter, the personality of God glanced over the sky, partly mixed with eternal time and external energy, and thus developed the touch sensation from which the air. So now all the sequences are being discussed. So material creation is from subtle to gross. I'm not going to go into details because these are all we discussed. So this one after other, what is discussed here in the picture is going to be explained. Next, the next verse. Anilo api vikurvano naba subalan vita Matra Jyoti Loksha Lochanam. Thereafter, the extremely powerful air interacting with the sky generated from the sense perception and the perception of form transformed into electricity and light to see the world. Now, Prabhupada puts it with electricity for us to make sense. So I'll skip this. Next one. Anilena Vitam Jyotir Vikurvat Paravikshikam. Kalamayam Sayogataha. Electricity was surcharged with the air and was glanced over the supreme at that time by the mixture of elements, eternal time and external energy. there occurred the creation of water and taste. Okay, so next. Jyotisamonu samsritam vikurvad brahma vikshitam naim gandha guna adat kalamaya amsayogat. So then after that, thereafter the water produced from electricity was glanced over by the personality of Godhead and mixed with eternal time and external energy, thus transformed into earth. So finally the transformation, all these are happening under the glance of the Lord. Lord has to.
इसमें अगर आप थोड़ा सा स्क्रॉल करें, यस, क्या पूछने वाली थी, वाटर प्रोड्यूस फ्रॉम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी किसको रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है उस चार्ट में, वो स्काई ईथर वाले चार्ट में?
So
Fire.
फायर,
Fire.
फायर,
yeah,
Agni.
ओके,
Agni.
Here is for Jyoti.
Okay, so let's now again Krishna, this is a reference Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. So this is all happening under direction of Krishna. Okay, so this diagram again clarifies. From ether, the quality is sound. Here, the quality is sound and touch. Next one. And fire or light, electricity, like that. And water, and finally earth. So the earth contains everything. Water contains anything with water and all the above. So like that. Next verse 37. Bhutanam nava adinam yad yad bhava avasaran tesam para anusham sargad yatha sankhyan bhutanam vidu. O gentle one, all of these physical elements beginning from sky down to the earth, all inferior and superior qualities are due only to the final touch of the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right. So okay, so I think we understood that by the glance of the Lord, everything happened. Next is Etadeva Kala Vishnu Kala Maya Amsalinga Nanavat Swakriya Nisha Gochu Prajalayo Vibhum. Okay, so now the word over here, Kala. So now, which is what is being presented here, is not there in the second canto or any previous cantos. This is something new that is added in the description of the creation. So here it is saying that about the devas. Now they are going to talk about the devas. Now these are elemental demigods. These devas are elemental demigods. However, they are not, they are part and parcel of Vishnu, but they are not Vishnu Tattva. They are jivas, but they are directly coming from Mahavishnu. They are element, they are controller of all the elements. Whatever we have 24 elements we have seen, they are controller of all of them. So they are basically, Prabhupada is saying, they are part and parcel. Part and parcel of, when we have heard this word part and parcel many times. Right? So we need to understand this word part and parcel, what it really means. So there are two words. One is part. So part indicates qualitative oneness and quantitative differences. Like qualitative oneness means like a sun has a spark. So that spark of the sun, or the one fragment of, not sun, fire. Fire has a spark, and similarly a portion of the sun rays is qualitatively one with the sun, but quantitatively it is different. So this is part. However, the main thing is parcel. What is the meaning of parcel? So this is explained by Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj in one of the introduction. He explained this, that parcel means we have inseparable relationship with the Supreme Lord. We have connection with the Supreme Lord. Right now it is covered. So we are parcel means a package, right? So Prabhupada uses the word
Like separate identity.
separate identity, but it is part of the whole package. It has relationship. So there is an inseparable relationship between the spark, and it can separate, of course, the spark can separate, but there is a relationship which is never broken. Right? It is that spark is a part of that fire.
The spark exists because of the fire.
Because of the fire. So similarly, we exist as a parcel of the Supreme Lord.
Yeah.
Though the relationship is right now covered. Right? And when we water the root of the tree, then this spark will, basically the leaves will also get the nourishment which is it. So similarly, when we pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we also will get the benefit. So we saw that. So the controlling deities of all the above, so these are the elements. The controlling deities of all the above mentioned physical elements are empowered expansions of Lord Vishnu. They are embodied by eternal time under the external energy, and they are his parts and parcel. From there it came the part and parcel, description of. Because they are entrusted with different functions of the universal duties, were unable to perform. So they offered fascinating prayer to the Lord as follows. So, what is the role of these controlling deities? They are parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Their role is to combine all these elements and create a functional universe. However, they are also portions of Vishnu, and they are not actually Vishnu Tattvas. They are agents. Sometimes we chastise, not chastise, but we become angry on the demigods. Why they have to do like this for us? When we are in distress, we actually either before knowing Krishna, we actually criticize the agents. So Prabhupada is saying they are agents and they should not be criticized.
These the elemental demigods like Indra and Agni, they are different from the other demigods.
Yeah. So, the creating you.
But
So,
remember, Prabhu, in the past when we had the creation classes, we had in second chapter also all these things, right? That time you said that the senses, one of the senses controlled by Indra and all that. So they are the elemental demigods.
No, these are controlling the elements. When we go into the universe, then again there will be Indra, and Indra is a post held by somebody. So the Indra, then those demigods are actually controlling our various portions of our body.
अभी ऊपर में जो 10
Since
they are the same, right?
Since Devatas.
Since
He's
Devatas.
saying no.
No.
Then oh, really?
Yeah.
And who are they then?
These are elemental.
आप ऊपर एक चार्ट में था ना कि I think what Indra is what.
But these are the universal, the universe.
Global
universe of
global.
I get it. But these elemental demigods are at what level?
They are controlling the elements. All the elements that is created after Ahankar in the mode of goodness, there are certain things created.
So these are global variables. They're not instantiated.
I get ऊपर slide में ऊपर नहीं थोड़ा एक बार sorry.
No, कौन सा
मैंने ऊपर जो जहाँ पे वो अहंकार का स्प्लिट बता के कैसा हो जाता है करके उसमें जो 10 जो डेमिगॉड्स हैं अच्छा
Here.
हाँ ये कौन है ये देवतास कौन है सेंसस देवतास ये कौन है ये नीचे भी जो नीचे टेबल है
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that
So
these are senses and senses the devatas. So I thought these are the elemental.
there are elemental devatas. Apart from these devatas, also there are elemental who controls the elements. So everything is controlled. Like even the senses are controlled with this. But then there are elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. वो है ना 24 elements. उसको भी तो control करना पड़ेगा. So there are devatas.
We are thinking in the material platform. What is the elemental devata doing? He doesn't have any work.
No. There is a lot of work to be done by the elemental devatas. So
Indra is taking care of the hand.
these are only
this Indra is different from the
So our universe,
the universe
because universe itself is not created yet.
yeah.
So this is prior to universal
So
creation.
instance of these devatas will be there in a portion of these devatas will be there within us, which will control the ears and all this.
It's like central and state.
Yeah, the portion of that and portion of Indra is also there. So all of them actually has to be. Then there has to be actually Virat Rupa will also be created in that also has to be triggered, and there is lot more details. But these are at this global level. Yeah. It is confusing. Better, understand certain things and okay.
So this is like we are a frog in the well, so we just know what is in the well. Now we are looking outside. We say, hey, there is some replica of this there also. What is that versus this and all that?
So now the Prabhupada says Pasandi, one who places the Lord and the demigod on the same level is called as Pasandi. Now we are seeing so many things Lord is creating. Now this actually Mahavishnu is the portion of the portion of the portion of Supreme Personality of Godhead, right?
Yeah.
So, when we bring them to the same level, we are Pasandi. Demigods are acting under the direction of the Supreme Lord and must not be condemned. Lord is equal to every living entity, just like the flowing Ganges. The Ganges water is meant for the purification of everyone. Yet, the trees and the bank of Ganges are different values. Mango tree. So, what he is trying to say over here is Ganges is flowing, and on the bank of Ganges there are different types of trees. Some trees are fruit bearing, some trees are poisonous. So it is not the fault of Ganges that why it feeds everything. Yeah. So similarly, these demigods are actually helping agents. So when we go through suffering, we should not criticize them. That's the idea what Prabhupada is trying to say over here. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also gives the same explanation in more details in his Sarartha Darshani Tika. Okay.
Prabhu, in that context of the previous discussion on Devtas, so let's say, is Saraswati an elemental?
No, she is not there, right?
But then she's the goddess of sound.
Goddess of education.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah. Yeah, knowledge. Yeah. Thanks. Shiksha. Okay. So there are so many prayers in now. These demigods are going to pray that you have given us all the elements. However, we don't know really, how to make a functional universe. So they are going to pray. Now there are so many prayers, wonderful prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam, starting with prayers of Shri Vyasdev 1.1, 2, and 3. And subsequently we read the prayers of Arjuna, prayers of Queen Kunti, prayers by Bhishma Dev, and then prayers by the ladies of Hastinapur, prayers by Sukadev Goswami, a very short prayer by Brahmaji in Canto 2, Chapter 9. A very short prayer, but this is not mentioned. Even this prayer is not mentioned, but this prayer is here. Now, basically, Canto 3, Chapter 5. So
You said prayers of demigods, right? No, prayers of the elemental gods, right? That the Muni gave.
Oh, यहाँ पे दिया नहीं है. That's what I'm saying. So prayers of demigod will come here.
And these prayers of the elemental demigod is in their dilemma that they are not able to do anything.
Yes.
How like
You don't know what to do.
It's like Brahma.
They have the rice and chawal and
Everything.
masala.
So now, then after that, Krishna will or Mahavishnu will actually combine those elements and give them intelligence how things are working. So through his Vibrat Shakti. So that is there in the beginning of 6th chapter. Okay. So summary of the process of creation is explained that so far, there is a Kriya Shakti and no, so not Kriya Shakti, sorry. The what's that word? Krishna. Karya Srishti and Karya Srishti. So these are two different Srishtis that happens. So till now the elements are created. Now the demigods are going to pray. After that the universes are going to come. Before that Krishna is going to give them the intelligence, or Mahavishnu is going to give them the intelligence. And the universe are going to come and all the elements will congeal over the universe. जो आपने बोला है 10 those layers will happen. But that will happen later. Once the intelligence is given to them. So that will happen later. Not so far it has not happened. So now these devatas are going to pray. So 39 to 51 is the prayers by the devatas to Karnadaksha Vishnu. And in that set of prayers to Karnadaksha Vishnu, 39 to 43, this, when you actually read the prayers, beautiful prayers. So they are, and then you can understand that they are actually devotees, because through their prayers we can then somebody speaks, we can understand whether they are devotees or not. So then we understand that they are actually, the way they are speaking is like a pure devotee. So now they have not met a devotee, right? They are directly coming from Mahavishnu. So our acharyas are saying, and especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that, we need to understand that they have not met any devotees, because how one becomes a devotee? By coming in contact with another devotee, and they get the seed of bhakti. But here they have not met anybody. Right? So this is a special empowerment given by the Lord himself. That's what he's trying to say. So in the first prayer, it is they are glorifying the act of taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. So this section 39 to 43 is the glorious shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. This is a whole section talking about the importance of taking the shelter of Lord's lotus feet. And the first thing is, they are saying your lotus feet acts like an umbrella that shields all the miseries. So let's read. Deva uchu namna te deva tam arvindam prapanna tapokta sama apatapatram yanmula keta yadu anjasuru tamsara dukkam bahipustikvanti. The demigod said, O Lord, your lotus feet are like umbrella for the surrendered soul, protecting them from all miseries of material existence. All the sages under that shelter throws off the material miseries. We therefore offer our respectful obeisance unto your lotus feet. So, time to come up with a picture where lotus feet of the Lord.
कितनी अच्छी picture है. It's such a beautiful picture.
Where it is acting as an umbrella for the devotees. Right?
ये आपने बनाई है या AI ने अपने आप
AI में मैंने instruction दिया and they made it.
Oh, really?
All the pictures which are subsequent are like that.
DBT की जगह AM पे अमृता.
तो वो मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन है, बहुत पुरानी स्लाइड्स का है. तो आज का ही है, मैं बहुत देर से मैं भूल गई, फिर मेरे को दिमाग में आया. सिर्फ एक चीज पूछनी है छोटी सी, पता नहीं आपने क्या कहा कि जो ज्ञान समथिंग, जो ज्ञान योगा करते हैं, दे मेडिटेट ऑन द सोल इटसेल्फ, नॉट द सुपर सोल, कि वो खुद की सोल पे ही करते हैं.
So the Jnana yogis can meditate upon different things. They can meditate upon Brahman. They can, so this is given in the 9th chapter, I think 15th or 17th verse, and I forgot the name. If you remember,
भगवत गीता में.
Bhagavad Gita mein, there is a different kind of upasanas are there. I'm not recalling the name.
In 15.
Yes, where one can meditate upon themselves. So that kind of meditation is also there, and it's a portion of the yes, Ahangaropasana. Yes.
तो प्रभु ब्राह्मण, आप कहते हैं ब्राह्मण इज सोल ऑल्सो, ब्राह्मण हैज डिफरेंट मीनिंग, तो वहां पे लिखा हुआ है ब्राह्मण भी एंड सोल भी.
The Jnana Kanda section is mainly a Brahman worship, but there are other kind of worships are also given in Jnana Kanda section. The other kind of Ahangaropasana is also given. So various Veda covers everything. Right? Veda means it covers everything, all kind of worship. So this kind of worship is also there. So different kind of worship is there, where one can meditate upon themselves, realize themselves as a soul. हम लोग बोलते हैं self realization. What is self realization? Means we are realizing ourselves that we are not this body, we are soul. When we go into bhakti, that's the first thing we learn. But realization of that is completely different. When you meditate upon yourself, you can actually, in your chitta, you will see that you are a soul. So that's another level of upasana. And as Prabhu mentioned, it's Ahangara upasana. I forgot that word. Or you meditate upon the universe. Right? That is there in the Dharanashraya of, remember in the Ashtanga Yogi, the Dharanashraya of Ashtanga Yogi, who is attached, they meditate upon the universe. Virat Rupa.
Yeah.
And then the Krama Mukti.
Lord Brahma and
Then yes. Yes. That is also there.
Okay, so ज्ञान मेरे मुंह से खंडा क्यों निकल रहा है? ज्ञान
Jnanakanda. Yes.
ज्ञान yogis, they meditate either on Brahman or they meditate on
On the self.
the self.
Right.
अपने इति-
They can meditate upon the universe also.
Hmm.
It depends, but generally their focus is actually, if you are going through the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, then we are meditating upon the Virat Rupa, or the super soul within the heart, Paramatma within the heart. So there are the different kind of meditation, but this all comes under this is not really you are trying to enjoy the matter. So it's a one level up. It is also not pure bhakti. It is also not pure bhakti. So you are in somewhere in the middle, and all these kind of yoga practices are covered in that.
Jnana is related on interest on Brahman.
Yeah. That is aspect of the Jnana Yoga. But in the Jnana Yoga, they can begin with the journey that I am soul. So actually when they are meditating upon the Brahman, Brahma Jyoti or Brahman, where they want to merge in, then they are practicing those sections of the yoga, Jnana Yoga, where it is focusing on those points. But then there are other sections in the Vedas, because it's all Veda is a whole thing. Eh? This is not Karma Kanda. This is not Upasana Kanda. So this all comes under this one umbrella, big umbrella. But majority is that meditation upon the Brahman. But other Upasanas are also there.
Once you go to Ashtanga Yoga, then you are in the Dhyana Yoga, right? You are no longer a Jnana Yoga.
Yeah.
Then you have to focus on the Paramatma.
Paramatma, yeah. That's a yoga that is altogether different. So here it is taking importance of taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So those who take shelter of the lotus feet, they completely throw off all the miseries without difficulties. Others who are engaged in transcendental activities in different ways cannot do so. For them it is very difficult. Right? 12th chapter Bhagavad Gita, verse 1. They may artificially think becoming liberated without accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, but that is not possible. One is sure to fall again under the material existence from such false liberation, even though one may undergo severe penances. Arujya Krishyana Parampadam Patanti Ada, that's the one. So what does it mean to take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord? So that is given in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:115. That describes, and we can purport of Srila Prabhupada explains. What's that? Right.
प्रॉब्लम है क्या?
मेरा टेस्ला नहीं है, मेरा टेस्ला तो ड्राइववे में है.
Yeah, to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord means to take shelter of the pure devotees. Prabhupada explains in the purport of this 1:115. Now, we know that this suffering is, one can overcome all the miseries by taking shelter of the Lord. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. But, suffering we know is due to ignorance, avidya, and we can know that, knowledge alleviates, by knowing something, it alleviates our avidya, right? So what are the 5 things that is causing the suffering? So this is the current suffering and the future suffering. This is we saw in Madhurya Kadamini. The starting point is avidya. Avidya leads to raga, raga bhinevesh, and then finally leads to an action which leads to current suffering and the future suffering. But the root cause is avidya.
So suffering will be there.
Yes.
And the future or current.
But yeah, suffering. So currently when what is experiencing is prarabdha, and future is the aprarabdha. But the root cause is avidya. So suffering is due to ignorance or avidya. And we know that knowledge alleviates, or knowledge actually removes avidya. However, this verse is saying, if my suffering is due to avidya, Won't I overcome with knowledge? The answer is no. The shade of your lotus feet gives the strength of devotion and is the only way to overcome all the miseries. So this is the second prayer. Beautiful. It's nicely connected with each other. That your lotus feet removes all the miseries, but miseries are due to avidya. So if I gain knowledge, I'll remove avidya. So he's saying no, you will not be able to remove the avidya. You have to take shelter of the lotus feet. This is the verse.
Proof is that Jnani's misery should go away.
Yeah. And that is what the point is explained here. That Jnani's miseries, their practice is very miserable. So Dataya Rasmin Bhava Isha Jiva Tapatriyena Vihatana Sarma Atman Bhagavante Bhagwan Stavangri Shayam Savidyam Ata Ashayema. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that how to overcome the tapatraya. Tapatraya is the three kinds of miseries, right? We just studied it. Adhyatmic, Adhibodhik, and these are the kleshas. Now, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, what does he say? If you practice any kind of practice which you do, like either it's Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, what is the basic requirement of all of them? First, you have to overcome Maya, isn't it? So, what is Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7:14? Devi Yesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratya. Maya Meya Prapadyante Maya Veda. So, therefore, our Acharya are saying that for any yoga you take, Bhakti is the one of the element of that yoga. Because everybody wants to overcome the Maya. They cannot overcome Maya unless they take shelter. Mameya prapadyante Maya metatarate. So one has to take shelter of Krishna. Therefore, you see any yoga, whether it's Karma Yoga, whether it is Jnana Yoga, Bhakti is the element of that. Whether it is Ashtanga Yoga, right? In Ashtanga, it is Ishvara Paranidhan. That's where you are doing worship of the deities. So one has to overcome this. One will be able to overcome the miseries or tapatraya only by taking shelter of Krishna. And this is the reference. Right. So therefore I have put over here why all yoga processes must have element of bhakti in order to execute the path they follow, which is because of this 7:14. Each process begins with bhakti and then they have to have bhakti for their guru. That is one. They have to take shelter of a guru. Without guru, you cannot practice any of the yoga. So that is bhakti for the guru is there. Right? But what is bhakti? What is the definition of bhakti? We saw that, right? According to last time, I think I put a verse explaining bhakti means from the bhaj dhatu. Remember this?
Worship.
Worship with prema.
Worship, it's basically it is service. So bhajan or bhakti or bhaj, act of bhaj, or this is a service or worship. So one has to surrender to a guru. In order to take shelter of the guru, we have to perform service to the guru. So any yoga you take, it is imperative that one has to take shelter of or bhakti of a guru. It's must. So each process begins with bhakti or shelter of a guru. And for all yoga process, first one has to get free from the clutches of Maya. And therefore, all the yoga processes have this element of bhakti within them. So this is what is Prabhupada trying to explain, that they have to practice bhakti. And similarly, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur saying, suffering of material life is rooted in ignorance, and by knowledge it is elevated. Can those who possess knowledge get freedom from the suffering? This verse explained that bhakti alone is that process. Right? That is 7.14. You have to overcome Maya and then you engage in bhakti.
Prabhuji, people who are in the Gyan Yoga path, they also have to do bhakti before
Yeah.
they can attain their.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. So.
No, they chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but they chant Hare Ram and then the Vedic mantra. Yeah. Jnana Yoga is part of that practice, yeah. But it's Hare Krishna Mahamantra only, but in the Upanishad it is given as it starts with Hare Ram. Without worshipping your feet, the jivas do not get peace in the material world or within the self. Even if they have knowledge, the Atman stands for Atmani, or Atman can be vocative case. Knowledge can only exist in the shade of the lotus feet and nowhere else. Without bhakti, jnana cannot reach its goal. Such persons are false jnanis. So they, all the yoga process has an element of bhakti which actually gives result. Next verse. How to take shelter of the lotus feet? There are two ladders. There are two paths explained in this. We are talking about taking shelter of the lotus feet, right? How to take shelter? So then there are two paths. Let's read. Marganti yatte mukapad banades chanda supene shisyo vivikte yasya gagam marsadosrid varaya padam padam tirtha padam prapannam. So there are two paths. To take the lotus feet of the Lord are themselves the shelter of all the places of pilgrimage. The great clear-minded sage, carried by the wings of the Veda, always search after the next of your lotus-like face. Some of them surrender to your lotus feet at every step by taking shelter of the best of the rivers Ganges, which can deliver one from sinful reaction. So there are two paths given. One path is the path of yoga, which is taken by uh, the the sages. But the path of yoga, they approach the Supreme Lord. Second path is by taking the shelter of the Ganges, which is actually emanating from the spirit of the Supreme Lord. So here, Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur very nicely explains that he gives the analogy that in the previous times, people when they want to take shelter of in the night time, there was not hotels or anything to stay. So they will stay under a tree. Now, how they will know that which tree is safer? So they will follow the path of the bird, and the birds will take them to a tree where the birds' nests are, and then they will take shelter under that root of the tree. So this is what is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti. We'll read that purport. So that is one path. Other is the path of the path of the devotees taken. Other path is the path of the Ganges, because they take shelter of Mother Ganga, which is emanating from the lotus feet. So these are two ladders. So I'll read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purport. Those who desire to see the lotus feet by taking shelter of the two ladders of happiness constructed by your mercy attain direct vision of your lotus feet are intelligent. They are real jnanis. We have surrendered to your lotus feet a place of pilgrimage, which sage seek. Right? By what means do they search? So these are two paths again. First is the path of the devotees taking the path of Vedas. So this is explained. They search by the birds of the Vedas, which are sitting on the nest of your lotus mouth. So where do the birds build their nest? On the top of the tree. So that is considered as the mouth of the Supreme Lord. This is an analogy. Homeless people looking for shelter at the base of some tree, wandering here and there, follow the flight of the bird which enter the nest at the night. So the birds are going towards that nest. So they follow the path of the bird. Where do they reach? They reach the trunk of the tree. And the trunk of the tree is the lotus feet.
Yeah.
It's beautiful analogy.
So who are the birds in like who are they following?
The birds are compared to the Vedas. So they follow the path of the Vedas, which actually takes you to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Here, birds are compared to the Vedas. The nest is where they are going to stay in the night, but that is actually the mouth of the Lord. But actually, we want to take shelter.
Coming from the mouth
of the Lord, yeah. So like that. Thus they attain the base of the tree, which is the home of the birds. Similarly, the sages worship you and attain you after understanding the conclusion of the Vedas. So this is path of the Vedas, which springs from your mouth and which are confirmed by you. This is one ladder. What is the second ladder? The second ladder is then described. We surrender unto your feet, which are the place of emanation of the best of the rivers Ganges, whose water destroys all sin. So when you take bath in the Ganges water, all the sins are removed. And that way, because it is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, springs from the lotus feet, you are actually reaching the lotus feet of the Lord. This means that by worshipping Ganges, they attain your feet from the Ganges, from which the Ganges emanates. So these are the two paths.
Of these two parts, the first part is direct, second part is indirect, or like so there is any pros and cons of this? Or?
The next verse is
Okay.
yeah. The
Perfect
next
question.
perfect question.
Perfect answer is coming.
So with this, we'll stop. We'll wait.
Then you'll come next question.
Come next question.
So I have a question back to the Gyani thing. So they go through the bhakti. So bhakti is love.
No, one of the their portions of their practice is bhakti.
Tinge of bhakti has to be
There.
So they do bhakti, which is kind of opposite to this thing, right? Like they do love is opposite to nothingness.
No, but the purpose of doing bhakti
Is for nothing.
yeah. So Prabhupada uses the example of the ladder. So they are using the ladder to go up on the second floor, and then they kick off the ladder. So they know that because it is given in their books when they study Veda, it is recommended to practice bhakti. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Matan. It is recommended to practice bhakti. So they practice, and once they reach their goal, then they kick the process of bhakti. It's like, somebody coming to temple to get something.
For them, bhakti is a means to the end.
Yeah.
To their end.
So let's say I am out of job, then I go to temple every week or every Thursday. We used to do those things. I have done this in the past, right? Go to Hanumanji temple, or Tuesday go to Hanumanji temple, Thursday go to whatever temple whatever deities we want to approach. So we go to the temple, and as soon as we get our stuff done, as soon as we receive, then we stop going. Right? So they are using the same techniques. So they are using bhakti as is not their goal.
Stepping stone.
Yeah, the stepping stone. Okay. So with this, we'll stop here and we'll continue with verse number 42. Thank you so much. Kanantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna Chakra Thakur ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mama. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.